Hello everybody. I'm Valerie Abrahamian with Advocates for Angels, and I wanted to come on today to speak to all the parents out there of kids on IEPs and just give a little word of encouragement and upliftment to all you parents at this time that we're dealing with this unprecedented Covid-19 virus. I just have three ideas I have for you that I want you to think about that might help you as parents and your families and your child. The first thing I want to bring to your attention is the fact that, we have the choice to do what we think is best for our family and for our child. There's so much out there, on the news, on the internet, everywhere we look, about the latest developments about the virus, right? How many people have been diagnosed in our community, in our area, in the nation, in the world. And if we keep checking every 5 minutes on the latest updates, that's going to cause a lot of stress and anxiety for us. You just can't get away from it. It's just in our face all the time, right? So I think it's so important to be fully informed and to do best practices when it comes to what they're, giving the advice they're giving us and what we should do to keep healthy and to, keep our families safe. Absolutely, we need to be fully informed, because when we're fully informed, then we don't feel like a victim, because we feel more in control if we have the information. But we don't have to be so hyper-focused on it that we're watching it constantly, because then we can buy into the fear-mongering and get into that level of stress and anxiety that we don't want to bring into our homes. And that's so important, because our kids are highly sensitive kids. They're so intuitive, all of our kiddos on IEPs, especially the kids with autism, ADHD too. Every kid, that a neurodiverse kid is highly sensitive to energies. They can feel the energies in us, in the home, and they're highly sensitive to that. So if we are full of anxiety and fear and worry, then they're going to pick up on that, and then they are going to act out behaviorally as well. They're going to not be able to sleep well. They might, increase or escalate in their behaviors, and that's the last thing that we want to do, because we've already disrupted their whole schedule, right? Their daily schedule going to school, and they're probably bored. And so we already have all these other things to contend with. So we don't want to add to what we already have to deal with, right? We want to make it a little better for ourselves. So we have choices here and how we want to deal with this. The second thing I want to talk, or that was two. We have a choice. Our kids are highly sensitive. And the third thing is that we can use this time to reconnect with our child and do things that we never have time to do, because our time, the slate's been wiped, right? All our schedules, all our responsibilities, all we're doing is going to the grocery store. So we can take this time to do stuff with our kids that we typically don't have time to do. So what I'm doing is my daughter and I, Chanel, we both paint. And there's this painting technique that I've been wanting to try for a super long time. And so now I have time to actually do that. I can go and I can get all my paints out, and I can try this new painting technique that I've been wanting to try and do it with Chanel, something super fun. Another thing that we can do is we can work on things like adaptive skills, daily living skills with our kids, because we're all home together. We can work on things like scheduling, like the alarm, getting up at a certain time, going to bed at a certain time, working with our kid about time, about scheduling, maybe their daily planner, maybe grooming, showering, chores, things like that, daily living skills, because we're home with our kids. And we typically don't work that much on daily living skills because they're always at school and we're focused on IEP goals and academic instruction. So it opens up, we can turn it around and make it more of a positive thing. because our time has been cleared up. So that's what I've been doing with my daughter and my family. We just have kind of take a chill pill and let's take this time to be together as a family and turn it around. So the other thing I wanted to give you is an update on IDEA. Okay, because so many parents are asking what's going on, what's going to happen with my child's instruction, with services, what's going on. So it's all a big question mark right now. Nobody knows, right? So some school districts are continuing to offer services online, virtual services, and some districts are not. So, for example, my local school district has decided to shut everything down, nothing virtual, nothing's going on. Other school districts are continuing to fund services that are being offered online, such as speech and language therapy can be done online. So it's like, we don't know. It just happens to be whatever your local school district is choosing to do. That's what is happening at this time. But in terms of nationally and decisions that are being made, they're still being made. Nothing set in stone yet. Now, last week there was talk and negotiations were underway to waive the requirements under IDEA. But then COPA, the Council of Parent Attorneys and Advocates, sent out a big call to action to all the parents. And I put this on my Facebook page too, my Advocates for Angels Facebook page, for parents to write letters to their local congressmen and your local people, to senators, congressmen and senators, to say, no, we do not want that to happen. We don't want them to waive our child's rights under IDEA, because that's what they're thinking about doing. So that was kind of put on hold. And now what's on the table is a new bill is being introduced into the Senate to provide aid and relief and it's called the Economic Security Act, which provides an infusion of cash to key industries, support for healthcare providers and healthcare systems, okay, which is a really great thing, okay, we want that. But then they snuck in there, included in the bill, a provision that directs Secretary DeVos to report back to Congress within 30 days on the waivers needed under IDEA and Section 504. So that means that they're saying that the Secretary DeVos has the right to say, okay, we're going to allow all the nation's school districts to waive IDEA during the time that schools are not in session. So again, we don't want that to happen. So COPA is calling for action again for us as parents and advocates and everyone who's interested in this, to again write letters to your local congressmen and senators. You can find that form letter on my Advocates for Angels page, or you can go to the COPA website. It's a form letter, so it's super easy to do. Just download the form letter, put your name in, and find your local congressman or senator. They actually have as well links that you can go to find who that is and the address to send it to. So please do that, because IDEA says that they are mandated to provide services. Now, this is unprecedented. This has never happened before. Everybody's scrambling to figure out what to do. How are we going to do this? How are they going to make up all these compensatory services, right? And it is a mess. It's putting tons of pressure on families and on school districts across the nation. And they don't know how they're going to do it, but they're trying to figure it out. But they shouldn't just waive it all together. So, we have to find somewhere meeting in the middle, some kind of compromise. Because when our kids go back to school, they're going to have regressed, right? Because all kids on IEPs regress after 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to have regressed. So, they have a responsibility to our kids to provide the services and academic instruction. And it should not just be across the board waived. Okay, so please, you can find that on my Facebook page. You can go to the COPA page and find that information too as well. And please help us with that call to action for your kiddos. And also, I know there's tons of information that you can find, again, regarding what I'm talking about, and looking up in terms of your local school district and what's happening there with your local school district and what they're doing, if they're providing virtual online classes and instruction or services or not. So another really amazing announcement I want to make is I'm going to start a virtual town hall meeting for parents of kids on IEPs so that we can have more talks like this, where we can kind of talk with one another, encourage one another, be there and build a community while we're in this kind of, sequestered and quarantine situation that we have going on here, because we need to group together, we need to support one another, and we need to get through this together. So I want to offer that as a platform for us to get together. It's going to be on Zoom. I'm going to post it on my Facebook page, Advocates for Angels. It's going to be Wednesday nights at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to come on again and I'm going to make some more announcements before that, but please plan to join me and tons of other parents from across the nation so we can have like a meeting together and talk with each other on how we're dealing with this situation, encourage each other and support each other as a community. So thanks, guys. We're all pray for one another, uplift one another, and encourage one another. Okay, God bless, and I'll see you soon.